So, welcome. I'm going to press record. Oh, it's recording. Thanks, friends. I just want to welcome everyone to our Monday night vision call. Tonight's goal is to share a vision of an option to create extra income through network marketing. And our goal here is to just share stories to cast a vision of what is possible and provide an option for you to create an extra income. So, with network marketing, it is the most intelligent profession because we use word of mouth marketing to get products to the market. Now, in days and age, the world is changing, the economy is changing. By 2030, it is predicted that 800 million jobs will be replaced by artificial intelligence. It's pretty scary. That is more people than are in the United States alone. 800 million jobs are predicted to be replaced by artificial intelligence, meaning computers. So what is our plan? And by 2034, it is also predicted that Social Security here in the States is going to run out as well. And I don't know about you, but I've been investing into Social Security since I was 15 years old. And it's really scary knowing that that's not even going to exist as a retirement option when I'm in my 30s. So what is our plan? So tonight we're sharing a way that you can take action now to create something that is an income producing asset that compounds over time and will allow you to have security for your future, for your financial future. So I have the pleasure to bring on today Jackson Parr. So Jackson is a great friend of mine, that brother I never had, a beautiful mentor. He is Australian, so he lives down in Sydney. He's currently 31 years old and has been building a business with Isogenics for the last 6 years. So I'm thrilled for him to share his story tonight because, it is so relatable. And, he went from, Australian who went to college in the United States, which we can all relate to because pretty much everyone on this call is from the States, going back to Australia, looking for a career, and pretty much he can go from there and share a story. So thank you so much, Jackson, for jumping on here and sharing, the vision of what is possible and sharing your story with us.
Beautiful. Thanks for having me. And your accent has gotten thicker since you live in there now. You're losing it.
I know.
Are you enjoying your time?
Yeah, it's been great, and just being on this time zone in general, I just feel like a million times more productive.
Good on you. Well, hey everyone. Are you recording this? Yeah. So if you're watching the recording or live, my name is Jackson, and like Cam said, I'm down here in Australia, in Sydney. And so my kind of story going off what Cam was sharing, with doing this for I think it's just over 6 years now, is I'm reading all the comments. Hey everyone. So I grew up here in Australia. I don't know if there's any Aussies on the line, but I grew up with I grew up with kind of my dad being my idol and my hero, and he still is. And here in Australia, I'm sure it's similar in America, but I was told by my dad, you've got to get a college degree, you've got to get a college degree, you've got to get a college degree, you've got to separate yourself from everyone else because it's a dog-eat-dog world out there, and you want a good job and they won't hire you and all this kind of stuff. And no one in my family had gone to college as well, so I think that fed into, my dad wanted a life a bit different than what he had and his dad had, etc. So no prizes for guessing. I guess Cam already told you what I did, but I went over to America. I spent 3 years in Iowa and 3 in South Dakota. I love the Midwest. They're the nicest people ever. I went over there for 6 years, did my college education. I was academic All-American because whenever it was exam time or study time, I had my dad's voice in the back of my head. You got to get these grades, you've got to get a degree, you've got to get a degree. So came back to Australia, very proud, excited. I'm like, I literally remember I was coming home and I'd imagine, like, when I get back here in Australia, I've got this American degree and academic All-American and all this kind of stuff. And I'd imagine like people fighting over me to hire me, and they'd, one company would be like, we'll give you a corporate car, and this other company would be like, well, we'll give you twice as much vacation. And that's what I kind of thought life and reality would be once I put in the hard yards of going to college. And I came back and it was like, it was a desert. There was nothing. No one cared that I had a college degree. I couldn't, yet alone could I find this job. There was no jobs. No one really cared that I had this degree, and all these kind of things that I thought was like my rock because I had this education. It wasn't anywhere to be seen. So I went from that, I had to, I hurt my back, and here I am. I was 20, how old was I? I think I was 24, and I'm living on my mum's couch, and I'm just like, where did it all go wrong? I'm in my mid 20s. I should be conquering the world right now, and I'm living on my mum's couch on, we call it Centrelink here. What would it be in America, Cam? Government assistance, whatever that is over there. So I had to kind of resign. I need to forget about getting this dream job, and I need a job because I love my mum, but after an hour, I changed my mind and I need to get out of there, even though I'm grateful she let me live on her couch. So I stopped looking for the job with this degree, and I went and got a job, and that's what led me to working in a warehouse. And there is absolutely nothing wrong with college education and all that stuff, but looking back, I realized I wasn't going, like in my class, I asked someone to my left, I asked someone to my right, why are you here? They're like, I don't know. It's because I thought this is what I'm supposed to do. And I was in that same boat. I was going to college to go to college, but I didn't actually know what I wanted to do. And I just thought that's what you were supposed to do. And so that was what I believe now. College is great, but it's not the only option. And so coming back here to Australia, I'm working in this warehouse, and I'm there for about a year. And I'm a fast learner. And what I learned really fast is I'm not employable. I hated being told what to do. I hated having a boss. I hated commuting to and from work. I hated having to ask, can I have time off here or that? I hated if I'm sick, I have to go in anyway, because if I don't go to work, I'm not going to get paid. And that's worse than being sick. And I hated all those things. And after about a year, I was like, I can't do this anymore. And I'm only 25 having these feelings. And then I started to think, man, what happens when I'm 35 and 45? And no wonder everyone's miserable, because they're doing this for the rest of their lives, working these jobs that they don't really, working these jobs that they're not really excited or passionate about. And so that's when these voices started to come into my head, like, there's got to be a better way. This doesn't make sense that I was working 2 jobs, looking for a third, and I had no mortgage, I had no kids, I had no nothing, yet I was struggling week to week. I'm like, this doesn't make sense. How can I be working 2 jobs and I need a third job just to pay rent and my phone bill and put fuel in the car? And, I wasn't even doing anything. And so that's when I started to think, man, there's got to be a better way. And that's when I actually started to get really excited about franchising, because I was honest with myself. I'm like, I don't have the brains or the creativity or the invention ideas, or I don't know how people get ahead, but I knew I couldn't go out and start my own business and be my own boss. But I knew, man, if I got my hands on a franchise, it's not a healthy example, but like a McDonald's, I knew, man, if I just got my hands on McDonald's, I'd win McDonald's of the year in Australia, because I'd work that thing. I'd be the first one in, last one out. I would have the willpower and the work ethic and the effort, but I needed someone to show me, do this, do that. This is what you do. This is how you do it. And so that's why I was looking for a franchise. I got really, really excited, and I could like taste freedom. And then I started to research how much franchises were. And then I came crashing back down to reality, just knowing I'm never going to own a McDonald's or a KFC or, all these things that were hundreds and hundreds of thousands of dollars. I think McDonald's was over $1 million. And I'm over here struggling to pay rent. And so that is what, once I had that filter in my head, looking for something where if someone just shows me step by step what to do, I can do that. That is when I came across Isogenics and network marketing. And that's kind of how I saw the filter, the lens in my projector, was looking at Isogenics as this online franchise where they train us, they support us. There's calls like this, there's websites, there's YouTube, there's podcasts, there's events, there's all this information telling me exactly what to do. And then I was just able to roll up my sleeves and make 1,000 mistakes and fail forward, and kind of led me to where I am today, Cam.
I love that. So you were looking into franchising, and then how were you introduced to network marketing, and like what did your journey look like in the beginning, and what were you able to create in your 20s to get you to where you are now and the life that you live now?
Yeah, so I knew about network marketing like my whole life, but I never ever, like when things were really bad financially, and I'm like, it never came to my mind for a moment, because I saw what network marketing was as a kid, which was, suits and briefcases and walking around with a badge saying "lose weight now, ask me how," and sending out faxes. And as a kid, I saw that. I'm like, well, that's cool, but I would never do that. And then I just like deleted it from my memory. So I knew what network marketing was, but it left my mind for like 15 years because I just saw what it used to be before the internet, before social media, before Facebook and Instagram and Zoom and Twitter and LinkedIn and insert 100 other free tools we get to use. So I knew what network was. I just completely deleted it from my mind. And then I forget where I was, but I used to be addicted to CrossFit, and my CrossFit gym owner, they just put this status up on Facebook. It was something like, I can't believe I made more part-time this week than full-time. It was something along those lines. And I just messaged her straight away. I'm like, man, what are you doing? Because, I'm working 2 jobs looking for a third. Like, what are you doing? And she said it was Isogenics, and I had been hit up and approached with Isogenics probably 2 years earlier to that conversation. But I just went, nah, not interested. And they kind of hit me with, well, do you know what it is, or do you think you know what it is? And I'm a smart ass, and I had no smart ass answer to that. Like, it was checkmate. They got me. I'm like, I don't really know anything. And then so I went, like probably a lot of you guys have, looked at the videos. I'm like, yep, that makes sense. I understand the science. I believe in that, all this kind of stuff, but it still wasn't enough because I was so skeptical. It still wasn't enough for me to kind of cross that line. And then they mentioned, I think one of the videos mentioned there's this 30-day, no questions asked, money back guarantee. And as soon as I went, I'm like, why didn't, I won't say his name, but why didn't he say that 2 years ago? Like, I'll try nearly anything if there's no risk. And so that's kind of how I came across Isogenics, and eventually decided to kind of at least try it once I heard about this money back guarantee. And I'm trying to remember your other questions, Cam.
How about this question? What did your life look like before Isogenics, and what does it look like now? What have you been able to do? What have you been able to buy? Where have you been able to travel to? Who have you been able to meet?
Yeah, so hey, I wish. So 6 years ago, we didn't really, well, I didn't like use social media or take selfies or film things. So I wish I had that stuff to like really show people, because I have the random photos that pop up, but and it's not a sob story because it was everyone else around me. It was everyone else I know. I was working 2 jobs, looking for a third, walk around the grocery store, pick up 2 things, get your calculator out, divide it by 100 grams to see which yogurt is actually cheaper. All those kind of things that all my other friends were doing because we're all just trying to get by. Why waste time thinking about a holiday property, or like that's just a waste of mental capacity because that's never going to happen. And so that was kind of life, but that was everyone else. My friends that had degrees, my friends that got kicked out of school in grade 10, we were all the same, just kind of paycheck to paycheck. And fast forward kind of through network marketing, what you were saying, that compound effect of residual income. the best feeling is to go from being so like anal in terms of checking your bank account every single day, and like even though you know for some reason there's not going to be extra money in there, you still need to check. And just having money really dictate your movements and your thought patterns and what you do and what, more importantly, what you don't do and things like that. So just being able to like not check your bank account ever and just knowing it's taken care of and there's no stress. And of course the flip side is being able to take care of your friends and your family, and I take care of my parents when it should be the other way around, and just things like that, which are the best feeling in the entire world. And I don't even have kids. The real kind of power is because I get to work with so many mums and dads, like seeing what they're able to do for their kids. That's a whole nother level. Hopefully, I don't know yet, but one day I might experience it. But that's the crazy real impact, is what parents are doing for their kids and their school and college, and they're into like all that kind of stuff. It's goosebump kind of stuff.
Like, how cool is that? Going from paycheck to paycheck to growing something in the pockets of your time, being able to quit your warehouse job, be able to start living out your dreams and traveling and giving back to your parents, to now millions of dollars of income that you've been able to create with this vehicle. So Jackson, if you could give anybody any advice on this call who is new to this kind of business model, to this kind of profession, and they were looking for ways to create an additional stream of income, what would that advice be?
What would that advice be? Well, two. I'll give two. So one would be, you're watching this call for some reason, so I would just trust the person that shared this with you or is on this call with you or however that, and just trust them to try it. But more importantly, I'll give the advice I constantly gave myself, which was I just kept telling myself / asking myself, if not this, then what? Because I knew I didn't want to be like everyone else. I didn't want to take one holiday a year. I didn't want to live in an okay house. I didn't want to be like 99.9% of everyone else around me. Like, call me anything but average or call me anything but normal. And so I knew, there is no way. And then so I just kept asking myself, if not this, then what? And I knew I wasn't winning the lotto. I knew I wasn't getting a rich inheritance or however people do it. I just knew there was no other option. And so when I looked at it like that, it was looking at it from that point of view, like, if not this, what? And if not this, are you okay with just paycheck to paycheck for the rest of your life? Because if this is how it is when you're 25, Jackson, you're going to blink and you're going to be 35 doing the same shit. And you're going to blink and you're going to be 42 doing the same thing. Maybe different job, but when it's all said and done, same circumstances. And so when I kept telling myself and asked myself, if not this, then what? It was like a no-brainer. It went from, oh, should I do this, or this is a no-brainer, because I was working in a warehouse. I'm like, okay, Jackson, you can either work in this warehouse for the next 5 years, or you can work in this warehouse for the next 5 years while building this on your lunch breaks and on the side and at night. And when I looked like that, again, it was just a no-brainer, because I'm going to be working in this warehouse for the next 5 years anyway. And kind of having that vision and that understanding, it got me out of the warehouse a lot sooner, thankfully.
So cool. And Jackson, thanks so much for sharing your story and sharing this vision with us. I love you so much. And guys, listen to this. If Jackson was never open to taking a look at this business model, isogenics, this industry, if he never took a look and said yes, then my best friend Reese never would have taken a look, who would have never introduced it to my boyfriend Morgan, who took a look, who then introduced it to me. And now all of us are able to travel the world because we have a huge passion for traveling. So we're able to travel together, make an impact together, and really cast this vision and show other people what is possible. Because just like Jackson said, if not this, then what? And the economy is changing. This is allowing ultimate choice and time flexibility and freedom to have, that those to create those memories with our family and our friends that we crave so much. Who could agree on this call that nothing we crave more than spending more time with our friends and family, right? So thank you so much, Jackson, for sharing this vision. I hope some of you on the call also caught that, and I truly invite you to get back to the person who invited you on here so you can talk further to see if this option could be something for you. So thanks again, everybody. Thank you, Jackson. So talk soon.
See
Bye.
you guys. Thanks, Cam.